All right, Carlo Senna, welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for hosting me.
It's always great to see you back in town. You live so far away in Austria, so...
But we've known each other for quite a long time.
For a very long time, yeah.
It's been like more than 10 years or something.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So
great.
More than my marriage.
So, what's new? What are you up to these days?
Most important thing is the weather. Like it's
Weather
May.
sucks.
It's May, and we're like in October or something,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it?
Feels
It's
like
like it's
October
10
or
degrees
November.
today. Did you know that?
It's raining.
It's
been
raining
raining
and
the
it's
whole week.
very cold. Like I actually turned up the heater
Mm-hmm.
while I was in the car coming here. Like I was not doing this since probably March. So it's an issue.
Mm.
Like I got my girlfriend who put all the heavy stuff, like all the clothes, like the winter clothes. She put them all away. So I don't have any winter clothes around, and it's 10 degrees.
Mm.
How do you face it?
Like, how did you put them away? Did you burn them or
No,
did
she
you
just
put them away? Did she
put-
hide them from you?
She just like she did what any sane person should do. Like if you live in a house that's not that big, I mean, you have spaces for everything, so you pack the things according to the seasons.
Right.
And she put everything away, like in boxes, hidden behind a lot of other things, and so they're hidden. They're basically hidden, and it's winter again.
And you're walking through Rome now, freezing you.
I'm quite lucky because I was in a car, but
Right.
otherwise I would be freezing. Are you gonna be an ice cream tonight?
If I'm gonna be eating an ice cream.
A popsicle on your way to the open mic.
No, I will not do that. It's the
You
wrong-
won't go to the open mic.
No, I will go to the open mic. I'm
So
not
why?
Are you coming tonight too as well?
I was trying to make it, but I won't tell you anything. You'll see.
Okay,
It's gonna be a
alright,
surprise.
Okay, all right, cool.
No advances.
All right. So you've been recording an album recently, I heard.
Yes.
Is it something we can talk about, or is it a secret?
There's no secret actually. I
Hmm.
mean, if it's music, at least to me, it's something you're happy about. So it's not really something to keep hidden or something. I don't know. People who like hidden things. I don't. So we can talk about it if
Sure.
you wish. But yeah, last year it was a very tough year. So actually, my brother and I released an EP 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went out and played live a lot in 2017. But last year it was not like that because it was kind of a moment for us to go away and focus on other things.
Mm-hmm. So you played in Italy, right? Or did you also play-
Yes. I mean, personal things, of course, give you inspiration for art.
Mm-hmm.
So in the end, I found myself with a lot of songs. And I said, like, this is the time. We should record an album. And but we wanted to do that the way we liked. So we started, like, getting equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Because we wanted to make it, since it was conceived as a home album, we wanted to make a home recording. And we started to get some things, some equipment, and it's all analog. Like we got a tape machine, an 8-track reel-to-reel recorder. That's the most expensive thing, actually, because
Really?
we found it at a thrift shop in Pomezia, and that's the most expensive one, but still very cheap because it's, of course, something that you got at a thrift shop. Then the mixer, the tapes. That's pretty much the whole thing. We wanted to track it home, and we made some demos home. But then we met these guys, and they have a studio in Formello. So actually, probably close to where your place is. Like,
Right.
is it?
I think so. Yeah.
Is it Formello?
It's Formello, yeah,
Yeah.
in the industrial area.
So it's an industrial area.
Via degli Olmetti. What's it?
Yeah, that's Via degli Olmetti.
Because I know there's a few music stores and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, it's kind of booming a little bit, that area. Like, a lot of people are working there. Even they come from Rome and go there and
Right.
work. But still, they have this studio there, and as I said, we wanted to record the album at home, and we mentioned it. They were okay with that, but they said, like, we know the place, we know the studio, we know the sounds we can get from the studio. I'm not talking about the instruments themselves. I'm talking about the rooms. Like, even this room has got a sound, so they know how to make that room sound. And we put all the equipment in one room, as I already told you. Like, we put all the equipment in one room, and we played live, tracked live to tape. Of course, now we're gonna transfer it to a computer for digital listening
in the end.
pleasure. But still, it's all analog, so it's all been cut live. No quantization, no auto-tune, no nothing.
Should you think of releasing something on vinyl as well?
I hope so. Yeah.
keep it analog?
Even like short runs. Like, my brother has been toying with the idea of releasing very short runs on vinyl records. So he's been, like, looking on the internet for this kind of stuff. We're probably gonna do something probably after the summer.
And what kind of sound are you looking like when you write the songs that you write?
Sound?
What sound? Yeah. I remember you had this period when you were, like, experimenting a little bit with electronic music.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you were experimenting with different things, I suppose. So what kind of sound are you looking for at the moment?
In the end, it's very acoustic. It's based on a nylon string guitar. And on top of that, you can add layers, but not many of them. Because I wanted to. Right now, I'm very interested in keeping things as simple as possible, as authentic as possible. I mean, not to say that, like, processed things are not authentic.
Okay.
But it's not what I feel right now. I used to be someone who actually went into a studio and put layers and layers of stuff. Like, I liked producing. I like it. I still like it, but it's not what I'm interested into right now.
And do you do all the editing yourself, or do you have these guys in the
They're
studio
mixing
doing
it.
They're mixing it, okay.
They're mixing it. Yeah, we wanted some fresh ears. Like, we're too into the songs. Inside. Like, of course, you're very attached to the songs. So you want someone else to actually take a listen and work here and there, insert their experience, and probably let the song develop into something that is not really something, that the thing is, they must be something that comes out of a bedroom, of course. But still, it's I don't want to be limited. So if other people, like, collaborating is important. So if they hear something like, I hear a Rhodes piano, on this song. So we'll edit, because it's like, is it working? Yes. Does it make a song better? Yes. So we're gonna do that.
So you're open to suggestions from others.
Yeah, of course.
That might improve your song.
Yeah.
Okay.
After all, it's all about serving the song itself. It's not about, I don't know, ego things, or I wrote this song, so you're gonna do it this way because I wrote it. It's not like that. I mean, of course, I know how I like it, but like, I mean, liking something is open to interpretation.
Right.
It's not set in stone, isn't it?
No, of course not. Everybody has their preferences, and so how do you go about writing your songs? Is there any process you have, or it just happens at any moment during
Showers.
any potential moment during showers, bathrooms? Class. So you don't have a project that you sit down and close yourself in a room, lock yourself in the room, and
no, I close myself.
And decide,
I close myself. I mean, pretty often by myself. So I don't need to actually go in a room and say, okay, I'm closing the door.
Okay.
Because the door is pretty much closed all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, it's not that. It's just I've always been this kind of meditative guy.
So you like to be secluded in a room, lock yourself, and then get work done, write stuff, work on stuff, and just be on your own and be a bit isolated. Like sometimes I understand it. I think it's very similar sometimes for me, that sometimes I just prefer to even have the lights off when I'm writing something on the computer, and just have all the sounds off and just be focused, So maybe there's something
probably
that you enjoy too.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I don't know about when you write a song, but actually I could be anywhere, like with my girlfriend parents. Then an idea strikes me.
Okay.
And then all I have to say is, excuse me. Then I disappear for like, I don't know, 1 hour. Then I come back. Okay. Hello again. But nice. I mean, people around me are used to it. So, I mean, of course it must be a little difficult for people to actually understand your behavior. And if you're someone who actually goes away and then reappears after 1 hour, it must look strange. I must admit it. But still, no one has been, I don't know, kicking me up until now. So I think they're still bearing it.
What's your goal with the album? Is it like, are you looking into marketing it very heavily and making $1 million with it, or is it something you want to use?
Of course, yes. Yeah. I'm very much into marketing. Like, I know how to plant money in the ground and make them grow into beautiful, green and money, full of money. I mean, I know how to make it. You have to
show me.
Of course, I know how to make it, but it's a secret. I mean, I'm gonna show it to you only because you're my friend. But I mean, apart from my gardening abilities, of course, it's great when people like your stuff. But it's not my, how to say,
end goal.
It's not what I have in mind. Again, if you can make a living out of your music or art or drawings or whatever, of course it's beautiful. Because it means that many people actually are interested in what you do. And so for an ego thing this time, of course the artist has got a big ego. So to your ego, it's good, and at the same time, it's dangerous because it can drive your creative ambitions, so to say. Right now, I don't know. I know I've got an album I'm proud of, and I'm gonna pass it on to my friends, to the people I think they will like it.
But what pushes you to write an album at all? Like, why get out of the bed, write stuff, produce stuff? Like, what's your? There must be something that drives you, or maybe you just want to create.
I think it's part of my subconscious way of dealing with things. It's just that I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I was not into creative writing until I was like 13 or 14. Probably I understood that dealing with writing helped me dealing with other things that maybe bug me or something.
Okay.
What about you?
What about me? Why I produce stuff?
Yeah. Because you're a musician as well.
Right. Well, regarding music, I mean, there's a distinction between the music and other things I do. First of all, I like to try new stuff. So I like to keep myself busy. So I get bored easily. And so one motivation sure is to try to do something exciting, something new. Another thing that motivates me surely is trying to improve something. So if I wrote something bad yesterday, I'll try to write something better tomorrow. And I want to just release it and see the reaction to it. See if because the reaction is not so important that people like it, but I just want to see what reaction it causes. And then, to be honest, to be fair, on the music side, it's not that I'm producing that much stuff really on a regular basis. So that's another challenge, I suppose, for the future to publish more stuff. I just recently published a raw song I wrote, and I didn't record it properly. I just recorded it here. I called it in fact. I think I call it quick and dirty or quick and lazy Vigneto sessions or something. Yeah.
I saw that one.
Yeah, one problem I have, I think, is once I write something and it lingers for too long, or I overthink it, or I start adding stuff. If I wait for too long and I don't record it right away, because I started recording a whole album last year.
I remember you were talking about.
I was in the middle of it.
This. So you start.
And then I start, and then after a few months, I just get bored by the songs. Like, they don't feel like my songs anymore. And then I just throw them away, you know? So there's a whole bunch of songs that are sitting somewhere that haven't seen the...
But were you producing it yourself? Or were you having someone else?
I went to a studio, yeah.
Okay, so you were having other people actually intervening and... helping you craft the songs. But it took too long.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that.
Not because of other people's fault, because of my own impatience, I suppose.
Yeah. You should try tape.
Probably, yeah.
Because it's like, with tape, what you do is what you're going to listen to.
It's also not much editing, not much...
I mean, you can do that, but it's very difficult. Like I learned, because I started working with tape. I mean, I'm comfortable with tape because when I started recording, when I was like 16 or 17 years old, many people actually my age had computers, and then they downloaded something like some kind of program from the internet, like Audacity or Fruity Loops. Like, many people I know started out with Fruity Loops, which is very basic. Or then like Ableton.
Right.
So they're very basic, easy to use DAWs. But I didn't start like that. Like, I got myself a tape recorder, a cassette tape recorder. Multi-track, like a 4-track cassette tape. recorded, I got it on eBay. It was very cheap. It was like 20 euros I got it. Because it was like 2005, like 2005, 2006. Mm-hmm. So this kind of nostalgia towards analog and like even photography, the latest, like these years, analog photography, Polaroids have come back, right? But before this, like in 2006, probably, I went on eBay and bought this cassette multi-track recorder. So I started tracking a lot, like recording a lot of songs on that, and I never really used a computer. I grew up like this. Up until now, I record my demos on that cassette recorder. So it's probably more with it probably has more to do with the way you grew up. I'm used to that. I'm used to write a song, record it live, sing it in a certain way, probably interpret it in a certain way, or try to make it good, like try to put a feeling into the song from start to finish. Because I've seen people recording in studios. It's like, do the first verse. Okay, stop. And then the engineer presses stop. Okay, let's go to the second one. Okay, stop. I saw that and I don't understand it. Like, to me, you press record at the start of the song, and once the song is over, you press stop. You can do little bits of editing, of course. But it's not the way I'm used to. It's more like, is it perfect? Probably not. But can you make it better? Probably not.
But how do you edit, like, if something is basically shitty. Good? No, if something is... it doesn't have to be shit right away. If something is basically good, but there's like a little thing that you want to change or edit, how would you go about that? You just have to re-record the whole thing?
You can re-record it if you have like good separation between instruments like vocals and guitar. It's not easy to actually change one thing without affecting the other. Of course, if you did them at the same time.
Right.
So you either leave it like that. You can live with that. I mean, can you live with that thing you're not 100% certain of? If so, you leave it like that and you go on. Other than that, you record another take. And I used to be I still am a perfectionist, to be honest. I still ask myself for 150%. But probably I understood that like perfection doesn't exist. So probably you want to change it a little bit. Could it be done better? Probably, but it's okay.
But I can perfection live with it. Kind of contrary to the analog recording strategy, because if you want perfection, you just get yourself what's it called? Apple's editing software for audio. Logic Pro.
Logic.
Yeah. Just get yourself Logic.
It's not perfect to my ears.
Okay.
Because like...
So what does perfection mean to you in that case?
To me, it's like, it's emotion. Like, does a performance carry some kind of emotion?
So you're distinguishing between technical perfection, because I'm sure that with any online digital editing software you get better technical perfection.
Probably.
Because you can just basically fake everything. You can make everything go directly, perfectly to start and end with a beat, with a time, with a pitch. Like everything can be kind of twisted and warped to perfection. So you distinguish between technical perfection and emotional perfection.
Definitely. I mean, to me, like even technical so-called perfection is not perfect. Because I realize that we are so used to the sound of digital.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not spitting on digital. I mean, I use it. I listen to
How
music.
dare you?
I listen to streaming services.
Right.
I use YouTube and all that. So I'm not saying it's bad.
You use Spotify?
Tidal.
What? Tidal? Isn't that who did it?
The
again?
Jay-Z
Dr.
one.
Dre, JC. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's included with my phone
What
service.
phone is that? Is that Android?
It's Vodafone.
Vodafone. Okay. Tidal. How's that? I never
good.
used it. Yeah. Better than Spotify?
I don't know. It offers like better quality in theory. Like you can, if you pay more, you can actually get like CD quality or
Really?
they say studio quality. I don't know if it's true. I never tried it, but probably should be better.
I should try that. I never tried Tidal. I use Spotify for private events and iTunes.
I mean,
music.
it's convenient. Of course, you've got a whole library of music in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying we are so used to it. We are that used to digital sound that we don't even realize that even digital has some kind of coloration.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say, so people tell me like digital is transparent.
Transparent in which sense?
It in the sense that it doesn't add any coloration to the sound.
Okay.
But it's not true.
Like bland, like...
Like, for example, if you listen to stuff recorded on tape,
Mhm.
you can hear some kind of hiss. Of course, like the tape
Right.
hiss, just a little bit. So people say, or even like the analog sound is, some say it's hot. When they say hot, they mean it can go above 0 dB and not distort. It just kind of saturates.
Right.
So that's the analog sound.
Mm.
Okay. So there's a color that tape gives to the sound.
Mm.
But still, even digital gives a little bit color. It's just a different one, and probably the one that people are more used to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a matter of technical whatever. It's just a matter of sound.
Mm.
I mean, everything, even this kind of podcast, the way we are recording it, it has a sound.
Right.
The room in which we are has a sound.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's everything has got its own meaning. I don't know. Where did we start from? I don't even remember how we got here.
I'm horrible with this. I always lose track myself when I go digging
bad,
deep
isn't it?
into it. It's pretty bad. Probably
It's
some
very
some early form of dementia or something.
I just turned
We're
30.
screwed. We're
I
so
just
screwed.
turned 30, so I understand you.
Ah, you're so young.
Young of what? Young thug.
Exactly.
Young signorino.
Esatto. We started talking about the difference between technical perfection and emotional
You're
perfection.
better than I am.
Yeah? Yeah?
That's impressive. Yeah. I mean, all the great recordings have got something that, I mean, the artist thinks could have been done better.
Mm.
So, I mean, I want to sound as a guy, as a person who was playing an instrument and singing in a room. I don't want to sound like a computer. If I want to sound like a computer, I'll use a computer.
Mm.
I won't record myself on a computer.
Okay.
I mean, that's the difference. I experiment with computer sounds.
Yeah,
It's
I
a different
remember you
thing.
were doing that for a while with electronic music. But do you think that most people really notice the difference with the equipment we're using? Like we're using little small headphones and we're not really using proper speakers. Like, do you think there's a difference that they can hear
I don't think so.
technically on their end?
I don't know. There can be a difference in probably intention.
Mm.
Or the way, like, you hear something's different. Like, it's not perfectly quantized. Like, it's not what's the beat? 90? Okay, it may slightly oscillate between, say, 88 and 93 in my case. But it's okay. I mean, it's human. So people can probably hear that. I mean, if you start at a certain tempo and then end the song at a slightly different one, yes, you can hear that. Other than that, it's more about, I mean, I don't think people actually listen to that. It's something that I'm interested into because I'm more comfortable with it. Like, to me, recording to tape, and then we're gonna stop talking about tape because I know this is gonna be boring for everybody other than us. But like, to me, recording to tape is not a matter of, okay, I want to record to tape because, I don't know, the Beatles recorded on tape. But because I want to listen, I don't want to be distracted. When you record on a computer, sometimes you get distracted by the screen. It happened this time as well. Like you look at the screen and you see the wave on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
The waveform.
The sound wave. Yeah. And you say there's something wrong with the wave. But then you hear that. I mean, if you don't look at the screen, you just listen to that. Does it sound good or bad? If it sounds good, then the sound wave is not perfect or something, whatever. Maybe the negative. I mean, I remember this happened. Like the bass didn't have the negative as pronounced as the positive part of the sound wave.
Okay.
And so it's not perfect. What happened? The thing I thought was like, who cares? Does it sound good? If it does, what's the problem? I'm not listening with my eyes.
Well, I agree. I think you can definitely be distracted and get too crazy about technical aspects of the whole thing. Because, I mean, I guess it depends what you produce for, and I suppose if you expect your product to be played, I don't know, depending on where it's going to be played, you might want to catch any technical problems right in the beginning, because you know if it's going to be certain speakers it's going to come out on in clubs and discos, maybe you can hear something or the effect is different. But then maybe sometimes it's just also philosophical questions between should the waveform look in a certain way, or should it not look a certain way, you know? So you can get anal about that.
Yeah, just a little bit, and then it turns mental.
Right.
Because you're looking at the screen and you're not using your ears anymore. And after all, music is about listening, not looking.
Right.
Right.
Unless you got a very nice music video.
Yeah, or you're or you're good looking.
Yeah, right.
But it's not our case.
No, it's not at all. All right. So one thing probably some people are asking themselves is, how comes you speak Italian so well? English so well, sorry. You're Italian, obviously.
Because I'm not Italian.
You're not Italian. What are you?
Who's asking this question?
Well, my mind is right now, and probably all the 3 viewers who are watching here right now.
No, that's the camera, right?
That's the camera, yeah.
No, I mean, as you said, it's a matter of curiousness, probably. Like part of our family, like I say ours because I'm talking about me and my brother. A part of our family lives in Canada. So we were exposed to English at a very early age. We studied English while at primary school.
Which part of Canada? Obviously not the French part.
Not really, but pretty much all Canada. Like we got relatives spread over from Toronto to Vancouver. So we were, as I said, exposed to English. Then we studied it. Of course, to me, it's more about like growing up with I'm trying to find the right word because I think this is going to be powerful.
Let me sit down first, wait.
Yeah. No, I don't know, but probably because I listened to music that was done, that was written in English, or I watched English programs on the internet. Like this is probably the thing I used the internet for while I was a teenager. I used it to inform myself. And since I was attracted to this Anglo-Saxon culture, probably I got trapped in it, and I started practicing it, and like anytime, probably the reason why we came together, like yourself and myself, it's because like once you told me that we are like Romans, even if you were not born in Rome, but you live in Rome more than I do. But we are the Romans that actually look for a multicultural Rome, multicultural city, because we feel that like Rome is a potential global city, but still the city itself doesn't do much to actually share experiences or places or whatever with an international.
I think I called it the Italians 2.0.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm more interested in like exchanging views with people from all over the world.
Right.
So like English is a good tool to
Definitely.
speak to people from all over the world.
Soon we should be learning Chinese though, because
probably
it's gonna happen.
I don't know. Yeah, I got a Chinese friend, but he speaks English.
Fair enough.
So I'm gonna start from him.
Go take his example. Yeah. Right. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about your Canadian background.
Didn't you?
No.
Not really.
I learn something new every day.
It's what friendships are about.
Exactly. Yeah. So what do you think about Rome in particular when it comes to music, arts? You just hinted at it a little bit about the lack of collaboration in a certain way.
I mean,
do you really think it's that way, or do you, maybe the two of us and we just miss out a lot of opportunities because we don't know a lot of things that happen here?
Probably we're missing a lot of stuff. Oh. And since I don't live in Rome properly, I'm probably missing more. But still, I mean, I'm fine with it. I know about that. I use the internet as much as I can to communicate about this with people from Rome, Milan, Canada, London, the US. We started playing weddings, your courtesy, last year. And so we started putting our music in a international context through these gigs. And I mean, the good thing that the internet does is actually connect people that probably didn't feel like the place they were living in was the right one for certain reasons. I mean, for other ones, of course it is. Like for me, Ostia, of course, is a perfect place to live. For other aspects, no. But I mean, you can make up for those other aspects with communication. And I mean, of course, internet has been extremely helpful.
Right.
That way.
It's probably one of the positive aspects of the internet.
Probably, yes. I mean, if you use it in a constructive way, it's very useful. Yeah.
It's very easy to get sucked into all the negative things and the social media and all the outrage
I mean, it's
and
up to
negative
you.
comments.
It's up to you.
But if you have the capability of not falling into the trap and using it to your advantage, it really opens up a whole bunch of
you
great
just write a word on Google.
Right.
Or better, other ones than Google.
Duck and go.
Yeah, Duck and go. And then, I mean, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Because, like, you write music.
Yeah.
Like, live music in Rome. And then you find about many places. Like, you find out about Le Mura, which is in a certain kind of circuit.
Right.
Then you find out about the public house, which is a totally different experience. Still, it's all live music. But which one do you feel more at ease at? I mean,
it's only one way to find out. Go there.
Yeah, you go there,
participate.
but you actually you get to know the different possibilities.
Right.
Then it's up to you.
Right.
You can choose between the two.
Right.
Or others. I mean, you don't even have to choose. You go to both, like I always did. But I mean, you get a lot of ideas and chances, a lot of information. I mean, that's what it should be about, like information.
Right.
Isn't it called informatica in Italiano? Because it's supposed to inform you, right?
That's correct, yeah.
I mean, you are the informatic, IT. Are
I'm
you
the
what?
informatic guy.
Are you the IT guy?
I'm a
or
very
something?
uninformed person, trust me.
No, I mean,
I don't
with the
deserve that
computers and
name.
all that. I mean,
Right,
you
yeah.
are pretty competent. I mean, if I have to look for something about that or understand something, I'll ask you, not the opposite way around. Probably
Right.
gonna ask me for about, I don't know, Italian literature because I work in that field. But
Correct.
for information technology, I'm gonna ask you.
Right. I mean, it's just a tool, really. You know, the way you use it is up to you. If you use it for information or for entertainment, or to destroy yourself, or to build something positive, you know. But yeah, I agree. The internet it gives you great opportunities, but the problem still is, like the reason I asked you the question is, in my opinion, very often there are many interesting things in Rome happening that we might not be aware of, and that's exactly the problem. There seems to be a lack of collaboration, of a shared platform or a shared concept that kind of makes all these things accessible to a wide range of people. It always seems like everybody's doing their own thing. They always kind of protect their own thing too, and so maybe that's one reason why there's not so much collaboration going on, because they're afraid it's going to be copied or taken away from them, or somebody else does something similar in a better way. And so everybody remains in their niche a little bit. And so a lot of projects also are maybe not promoted as good as they could be, because there's not a help of some organizations that might be able to promote them better. And so a lot of stuff gets lost. Like it's very hard to find unless you are part of a circle, through friends or through acquaintances or through somebody who's part of that. So that's my impression anyway. But maybe
No, it's okay. I mean, it's difficult to actually see everything and understand everything that's going on.
Sure.
Because still, I mean, even if it's quite not as global as probably Milan is in Rome, but it's still a very big city. So a lot of things are happening, and probably we don't know about them.
I remember there used to be a website when I came to Rome first many years ago, but they don't exist anymore. It was like a kind of an event website where, what was the name again? Do you remember that? Roma C'è, maybe? Is that possible? It was the to-go-to website with everything happening in Rome.
The events.
Like,
I don't know. I know about the little paper that comes out every Friday or something, like Trova Roma or Roma Eventi, something like that.
Paper? What's that?
Yeah, newsstand.
Okay.
Like there should be one, probably Trova Roma. It used to come out on
is
Fridays.
it the one on the metro stops that you can get and that you've...
I don't know if it's in the metro stops. I think it comes out with Messaggero or Corriere della Sera. But it's a printed publication.
Okay.
So I don't know about websites. Probably Facebook. Events are...
The problem with that is that everybody puts their own events there, and so it's really hard to find out something. The risk of going to something really crappy is very high on Facebook, in my opinion.
But I mean, at least you know.
Don't want to be
you go, you see
judgmental, but you know.
As the Romans said, like veni vidi giudicai potremmo
Right.
we could say. I mean,
That's
you
true.
make your own judgment about that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's a risk,
Right.
but it's it's the power of the internet, right? It's very, some say, democratic, because everybody can put up anything. There's not that much control over what's being put on, especially socials.
Right.
Like if you want to create an event, a fake event like called Mick Jagger live at the public house, you can do that. Nobody's gonna
It's true.
take it down, right? So who's gonna actually know if Mick Jagger is gonna come to the public house? Only the ones who actually show up there. So is he gonna come or not? Probably not, but what if he's coming? Fake news are probably
Right.
the real essence of our time, aren't they?
I think so, yeah. Although I have a feeling that some people seem to start waking up to the whole thing. Like I think there's a slow but unstoppable movement of people who start understanding these things better and better. I remember it. I mean, it always annoyed me before the whole term fake news was everywhere. The one thing that really always annoyed me was when there was these classical bufale, what do you call it? These hoaxes. Like, and it was years before this whole fake news was a big term, you know? These chain letters or messages sent around because either somebody had leukemia or some disease and you had to share with 10 people or
forward the message
to 10 people or what other stuff came up all the time. That some energy company was raising the prices, or that WhatsApp or Facebook now makes you pay for something, and it always just annoyed me that people would just forward these things without thinking about the fact that it could be just bullshit, you know? But it's obvious to me because maybe if I work in IT, I understand that Facebook would not charge in that moment, so I'm informed about it. So I think about somebody who's not in this world, like my parents, for example, and put myself into their heads. And so I get it, you know, I get it. If you're not really into that kind of world, it's very easy to. But still, I this is something I really hated and still do, yeah.
No, I understand what you said. Like the people, like everyday people who actually lead a normal life, so to say.
Not like you and me.
I mean, you go to work. You work 8, probably more than 8 hours a day. You wake up early. You come back late home. I mean, you come back home late in the evening. So you're tired. You don't want to think. So when some of these fake news happen to cross your way, you don't even have the strength to analyze them.
Right, but why share it then though? Like that's the part.
I don't know. Really probably it's sort of it's too easy.
It annoys the shit
is it easy? Yes. So I can do that. And and I mean, at the same time, your brain is not working. You're like, oh, and you forward it. Oh,
I guess it makes going. I guess it makes you feel powerful or something because you did something good for society.
I'm not sure.
There must be some psychological explanation to why people share such crap, you know.
I don't know, because it's the system, you know.
The system, yeah, it's all fault of the system. It's all fault of the government. I have a friend of mine. He blames everything on the government. Tutta colpa del governo.
Yeah, it's very Italian, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still, I mean, we're used to it. So either you like it or you leave. Probably. Can you stand people always doing the same mistakes? But I mean, in the end, even ourselves, we'll make the same mistakes all life long.
Right.
I will. You will.
Sure.
I mean, of course, we're made like
Nobody's
this.
perfect. We're human, exactly.
We're humans, and so we are very stupid, and we keep on making the same.
We are
mistakes.
totally ignorant.
I don't know, but
the human species. I'm talking about the human species.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Very ignorant. We're all ignorant also personally about most things in life. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure about you, but I'm not very good in neuroscience or astrophysics or anything. You know, most things we don't know. Most things in life, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, it's okay. You either live with it or you kill yourself.
right.
I don't know. You jump off a cliff, whatever,
Exactly. Lemmings.
or leave, go any other.
But
place.
even if you leave, I mean, it's not something that's just special to Italy. It's like everywhere in the world.
No, of course, but I mean, if the things that bug you are like, I don't know, people blaming it on the government, then probably Italy is not the place for you.
Right. Or maybe you are not the right, you know, maybe you should start looking at yourself rather than
Probably, yeah.
I mean, it's a classic.
I mean, if you can't stand people talking about it's on the government, if you can't stand it, I mean, if you think it's true, then probably you start looking inwards, okay? But if you, like, everybody is always, it's on the government. You go out the next day, it's on the government, and so on forever, and you can't stand it, then you probably better
are in
go
the wrong
away.
country, right?
Or close the doors and stay home and not talk to anybody else, because it's always gonna be like
it's a national sport, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you got politics, you got football, and it's all gonna be this way.
Right.
But because in retrospect, everything is easier. So should have done that. Should have been better. But you didn't do that.
Should have, could have.
Yeah.
Right.
It's okay. I mean, I'm probably this is a big deal for me, but I'm probably getting more optimistic about this. I understand it's a big change.
What's the big deal for you?
Getting more optimistic about this. I mean,
okay.
Being a little carefree about this. I mean, everybody. Probably it all comes hand in hand. Like, everybody's got their own imperfections.
Right.
I do. Everybody does, and so you live with them, and you try to make yourself better, of course, because you don't want to live as a. I mean, I don't want to be like, I know this is not good on my side, but I won't change it. I will stick to what I am, and I won't make myself better. No. Of course, I will try to make myself better.
Right.
But, I mean, if I make a mistake, probably this is the most important thing I learned personally. If I make a mistake, that's okay. I'm gonna make it better the next time. It's not easy to understand. Like, for example, while I was a kid, I was some sort of... I mean... Teachers always told me to skip classes. Like,
they told you to skip classes.
Like, skip grades, skip years. I was like in
like a super intelligent.
Sort of. I'm kind of afraid to speak about this because it's, you know, it can be misinterpreted or misunderstood.
Okay.
But I was some kind of smart boy. So I always thought, like, expectations were high. And so you wanted to make everything good, perfect.
So you had a motivation to actually live up to the expectations that you felt?
Probably yes. So once you understand it's not the right way to live, I mean, even making mistakes is fine.
Right.
Right now I work as a teacher at school, so I understand it even better. Probably working as a teacher helped me a lot, because when you're a teacher, it's not that you teach something and your students learn. It's not one-sided. It's always a two-sided experience. It's collaborative, so to say. So I learn a lot from behaviors, from newer generations, the way they behave, the way they think, the way they even like the way they like music, or they get in touch with music. So
how old are your students?
They are 12, 13 years old.
12, 13.
So quite young. But, I mean, from them, I learned a lot of things. I understand that because, for example, you see them, they make a mistake. And probably they are smart as well. But they make a mistake and they cannot get out of the mind sensation, like, this is going to end up bad. I'm going to get... things aren't going to turn out well for me because I made this mistake at school, so everything's bad. Okay. Then you look at them and you say, this is not something that's going to happen. I mean, it's just one mistake. And so you understand something yourself. Like you understand how to live with imperfections.
But so they are overwhelmed at that age with the fears and
not
all
all
the emotions?
Of them. Not all
Some
of them. But many of them actually are so into the modern technology era that they are constantly not focused on something.
Because they're on social media the whole time and
yes, I mean they are like it's very easy for them to actually switch subject. They're reading something about music. There's a hyperlink. They touch it. They're on something else that deals with cameras. So, but to them, it's not a difficult thing to actually understand. I mean, it's a very elastic mind in some ways. But still, they seem to have problems with focusing on something.
Okay.
So, of course, if you have to focus on something, like if you had a big homework or you got classwork and you have to stay focused for, say, 1 hour on your classwork, it's going to be difficult. And so their mind wanders a little bit. Even mine does. I mean, everybody's mind does.
Oh yeah,
it's like 1 hour is a long time, but still, I mean, you have to do that.
But everything is designed to distract you. I mean, I noticed that when for business, for work, I have to post something on Instagram or Facebook. Just the fact that I have to go there and post something, I really have to be careful, because then you open the homepage or whatever you call it, the timeline, and then you see something there, and then you get distracted, and then you scroll, and then you're already screwed. Because then you
it's not that one, like,
you're guaranteed, huh?
Scroll equals screwed.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, should be a slogan.
Yeah,
it's so easy to be distracted, and then once I managed to get over the Instagram posting and I got out of there safe, then I have to post depends. Some things are being posted automatically to Facebook too, but other times I post something manually. And Facebook, I managed luckily now to disable everybody on my timeline. So when I go on the homepage on Facebook, I see nobody.
Okay.
But it's not because I don't like people or I don't want to follow them or anything, but it's just so much stuff that it really eats up a lot of time. Like since Apple brought out, I'm not sure if you saw that, if you use an iPad or something or an iPhone, there's this function now that basically shows you how much time you spent on what, right?
The weekly
what's
report.
It called?
Report.
Yeah, I forget what the name is, but so it's quite shocking if you look at how often you're on Instagram, how many hours a week you spend there. You know, it's crazy. It's madness. So I understand that and that's for us coming from a background where really we still are used to sitting down for hours to do one thing because we played Monopoly maybe for hours, or like this was the way we got entertained in the
reading
old
books.
days, you know, reading books, exactly. And so it's hard for us, I imagine, if somebody who was raised around all that, it's really, really hard to be focused. And what you said before about the emotions, that they can be overwhelmed if they made a mistake and they feel like it's the end or something, if I understood properly, that
something
they're
like
overwhelmed. I think this also because since you are so much in the social media world and less going out with friends really in real world situations, it's really hard to learn how to deal with emotions like that.
But still, the following day, it's like nothing has happened.
Okay, so this is just a temporary distraction where
it's super
everything
super
is the
important,
end of the world.
And then the following day, it's like, even if they have a clash, like one day they have a clash, the following day they're best friends again. I mean, it's probably better. I mean, good.
Right.
But so why did you have that clash in the first place? Did you resolve it, or
you think
just
put
it over, under the rug?
Yeah. So okay. Who knows where that's gonna lead? Who knows?
I don't know. I'm fine with it. I mean, I like as you said, like psychology. This is something really interesting. For example, I don't have the tools, of course, to understand psychology the way psychologists do. But still, it's very interesting. Like, even just to look at people and understand, see how they react to something, the way they live. To me, it's very interesting.
Yes, you learn a lot yourself.
Yeah.
Through other people, definitely.
Yeah. And of course, like, looking at situations is very good inspiration for art. So
great.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing at all.
No.
All right, Carlo. I think this is a good way to end the podcast.
Probably
on this
on a high
positive
note.
Exactly. And now we're gonna smoke weed. No, I'm just joking. We're not doing that.
What joking? I came here for this.
I was promised weed when I came here.
It's part of the contract I signed.
Right. Carlo Senna, thank you so much. By the way, is there any place where we can check out your stuff online?
There's the Instagram. It's not really updated. I think I'm gonna post some more stuff, or my brother is gonna do that.
Okay.
There's the Instagram. We're probably gonna change the name because I want to make it a little less professional. I want to make it a little more
raw.
Yeah.
Nice.
But still, it's our music comes out under the name Senna, which is our surname. So if you go to Facebook, you can find Senna.
Like the race car driver.
Don't you have like comment section where you can put links?
I want to definitely add it to the description too, right? On YouTube. You can check out all the podcasts we did on the on heysal.net, and there you find the videos, and in the videos, under the videos on YouTube, you find the description for this podcast. And then we also have the iTunes audio podcast where you can just listen to the whole thing. And we're also on Spotify and all the other social media platforms. But just go to heysal.net for the latest podcast. Again, Carlo Senna, thank you so much for being here.
If you need to actually start a mail order podcast service, like on reel-to-reel or cassette tape.
Mail order.
We can start that, okay?
Right.
Since we've been talking about analog audio, we can. I mean, if anybody wants to actually listen to the podcast on cassette, we can fix that. What do you think?
Yeah, gonna send a fresh copy of a cassette.
To Heysal podcast on cassette.
Right. All right, man.
Great. Thanks for hosting me.
Thanks for being here. Bye bye.